Hello everyone, this is Debabrata once again, and today I'm planning to take a class on array applications. So array application is going to be the probably the last part of the array, and it will be the mostly asked during the interview rounds. So I can guarantee half of my students will face this question. At least the probability to face this type of questions is 50%. I can say more, but for just safety, I am telling you 50%. So you can understand the importance of these type of programs. So before jumping into the topic, I want to say when I was a student, I was not. If I don't know if you will going to believe me or not, but I was more scared than you, and I couldn't do the programmings as I am now seeing the students are doing right now in the colleges. So, but I was not able to do that. So that doesn't matter actually. So just concentrate on the application, just concentrate on the exercise. That's all. That will be more than enough. You are not in a race of like you have to be on first or you have to be the best employee, you have to be the best student. It is not like that. So just try to look at the applications I will be showing you today and just try to practice them. And if it is being asked during the interview, just answer that simply. Okay. So prerequisite before the starting this course, obviously, you have to revise all the previous classes if possible. If not, at least the first two classes of array. At least you have to have a sense of array, how array works, how we can implement for loop using array. So those knowledges will be required, and obviously you have to practice all of them. You can put my screen on hold and you can just try to type the programs. If you require the programs, you can tell me in the comment section. I can send you the programs as well. But for the time being, I will suggest just to try to write the programs by yourself. Today, I'll be writing the program in front of you. So selection shot will be the first uh, applications, and it is, believe me, I am pretty much sure if it is in your curriculum syllabus, you are going to face this question either in the viva or in the interview rounds or in the exam paper. So somewhere you can find this question like write the program for selection short. So before going into that, we have to understand what does it mean. What does it mean by selection short? So sorting means arranging your elements one by one. I mean, suppose you have some data like this. So selection sort means you have to arrange this data, means into ascending order or into descending order. First, I will go with ascending order. So it should look like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Sorting means arrangement. So how we can arrange this data? We can sort it in any way. I mean, suppose if anyone gives us 100 papers, and in those 100 papers, some numbers are written, suppose, and it was a task like we need to sort it out. Means the smallest one should be in the first position, after that the second smallest, and accordingly at the last position, the largest number should be there. So anyone can follow anyway. So suppose if this task is given to me, I can follow some way. If this task is given to you, you can follow some other way. But the goal is the same. We have to sort it out. So there are many ways. So today I will first follow a way that is being called as a selection sort. So in selection sort, what happens? Let me show you. First, this number means not this number, the position, the number in this position. The number can be anything. The number can be 500 or 5,000 even, but whatever will be there in this position, that will be compared with other numbers. You can see, let me draw the footprints. Means whatever I'm doing, I think it should be there. Means at least whatever I'm doing, that pattern should be there. So I am first comparing this value with this one, as per the line also suggests. So 50 is if this position value is greater than some other, so I need to just swap. So 50 is greater than 30, so 30 will come here and 50 will go into this position. So I just need to swap. If 30 is greater than 20, now this position, so 20 will come here and 30 will go there. After that, 20 is greater than 10. First understand the logic, then I will obviously jump into the topic. So 20 is greater than 10. Yes. So 10 will come here and 20 will go there. So last term 10 and 40. So 10 and 40, 10 is not greater than 40. So just remember the value in the circle should be greater than of other numbers. Then only you have to swap. So that is the rule. So now this turn is we just are we have completed this turn. So next turn I will pick this number for the same thing. So now what will happen? I have to compare with all the succeeding numbers. Okay, so the number I will choose one by one. I will choose all the numbers, and after that it will be compared with all the numbers after that till the end. So obviously the same thing, 50 is greater than 30. So I will move 30 here and 50 here. 30 is greater than 20. So 20 will come here. Just try to understand the algorithm or the logic. If you are okay with the algorithm, we can anytime write the program. So 20 is not greater than 40. So we will do nothing. So we can think like it is the value of I and we are increasing the value of I. So circle means the value of I. So now I will move I here. And now this time, obviously, this position will be considered as a circle. Let me draw a circle. So now this time with this position, I'm going to compare this position and I'm going to compare this position. These two positions, obviously the following two positions. So obviously again 50 greater than 30. So 30 will come here, 50 will go there, and 30 and 40, 30 is not greater than 40. So I will do nothing. So again, I will take the next position. I can track the position. I can track those circular position. I am drawing some circles. I can track those positions just by writing I. So I can track the position. So the last position I will take this one. So whatever I'll do. So obviously only one position left after that. So I will just compare these two positions, second two last positions. So 50 is greater than 40. Obviously 40 will come here. 50 will come here. So this is the algorithm you can follow in real life as well. If someone gives you some papers and in each paper there are some numbers are written and it was asked like, okay, we need to sort them out. We need to arrange them in from ascending order from smallest to the largest. So obviously you can follow this way. You can follow any way. So we have multiple way of sorting. So this type of sorting with this algorithm where we can take one number and it will be compared with all succeeding number. This type of approach is being called as a selection sort. So this is the way you can follow. So now you can see I am drawing circle in 4 numbers. So what will be the way now? So I can write I equals to 0, I less than equals to a dot length, or you can simply write n minus 1. N minus 1 is the last term because array starts from 0. So the second last term will be n minus 2. N minus 1 is the last term. Why n minus 1 is the last term? Because array starts from 0. That is the only thing we need to learn from array. The rest of the things are just the for loops. So last term is n minus 1. So second last term will be n minus 2. And each time I'll be iterating as plus 1. So, and when I equals to 0, suppose when I equals to 0, what I'm doing? I'm just doing j equals to I plus 1. I'm taking all the elements after that. And j will be iterating till the end. I have done the same. You can see if you follow the red lines, when I equals to 0, j becomes I plus 1 to till the last. When, if you follow the green line, when I becomes 1, j was iterating, it was being compared with all the values after that. Means from I plus 1 to till the end. So I'll be following that. So I'm just trying to write the code for this algorithm, whatever we have done in the picture. So what I will do, I will simply compare each time the value in the circle will be compared with the other rest of the values of that array. So if I is representing the value at the circle. So and j are representing all other value after that. So I'll be just comparing if ai greater than aj. So what I'm doing, I'm just swapping those values, and swapping can be done like we have done in the first chapter, just swapping wine glass with the teacup. So the content of teacup and wine glass we have changed. We can use the same thing. So we can use a variable called temp, and we can put ai there, and in ai I will put aj, and aj will be temp. So I can swap those values using a third value simply. So that will be the code of selection sorting. So let me make it large so that it will be visible. Yeah, so that is the task. Okay, I think it was messed up. So, but yeah, I do not need the drawing. So this will be the equivalent code. So let me type this code in our compiler. So for the time being, you can use any online compiler if you wish to. If you have any other compilers like TurboC, DevC, you can use that one as well. But for the time being, for the simplicity, I'll be using the online compiler. Just simply searching in the Google, I'll be doing that. So first, let me take few variables like I, J. Let me take an array like 50, and I will ask user for number of inputs. Enter the number of elements. I think those parts are known to you. If not, you can just follow my code. So I will be just asking user that do you want to work with 5 elements or do you want to work with 10 elements, whatever you want, you just give that input. So after that, I will ask user to enter the elements itself. And I will take those element input using for loop simply. I equals to 0, I less than equals to n minus 1, I equals to I plus 1. And I will be taking input into AIs. So that's all. So after that, what I will do, obviously at the end, I will print. So I think this type of programs are already known to you. But still, let me run that. The elements are just for a revise if needed. And I'm going to print AI. AI plus, oh no, sorry. AI, okay. I'm going to just print %d space AI. And I have to put a comma and here printf. So I hope it will take input of a array and it will just going to print them back. So let me show you. Okay, let me work with 5 elements. Let me give input 40, 50, 30, 20, 10. Suppose, and it will give the same output. But now in the middle of taking input and just printing output, I want to place this code that we have just written. So let me copy and paste this code inside input line and output statements. So let me copy this line first and let me align this. Yeah. So now let me run this, the same program with the same input. So 5 elements I want to work with. Suppose they are 40, 50, 30, 20, 10. So it should be sorted in the reverse way. You can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 is the result. So we have successfully sort them out. And this is the selection sort. We have to pick each element till the second last element. I'm just revising that part. And with that I will compare all next values in that array. So if it is the 0th element, I will start comparing that with element 1 to last element. Same, when I will become 1, it will be compared to element number 2 to the last element, kind of that. If the element in the circle is greater than the rest of the elements, I will just simply swap. So that is the code, and that is being called as a selection sort. Okay, you can just pause the class and you can just type this code. Okay, if you are facing any issues, just let me know. I will try to make you understand what is happening. So it is being called as a selection sort. So now you can follow any type of sorting. So there are many type of sortings available, but in interview wise, important, most popular applications are selection sort, bubble sort, those things. So for if I go to now bubble sort, I think the idea of sorting is clear. So now I will try to show you some other examples. So suppose, let me take few examples like this. And I want to sort this array once again, but with bubble sort technique. So what is bubble sort now? So in bubble sort, what I need to do, let me draw something again. So it is first, we have to compare this with this, this with this, this with this, and this with this. As per the line I'm drawing, you are able to understand we are doing something else. It is not similar to the last approach. So what I'm trying to do here, so first 50 will be compared with 30. Serially, all the values will be compared. 50 will be compared with 30. So 50 is greater, 30 will come here. If the first value is larger, then there will be a swap. So 50 and 40, obviously first value is larger. So 40 will come here, 50 will go there. 50 and 20, 20 will come here, 50 will go there. 50 and 10, obviously 10 will come here, 50 will go there. So after the first round, the largest element will go into the last position. If I proceed now, and yeah, this shot is being called bubble shot because you can see this looks like a bubble head. This looks like a bubbles are hiding behind the number. So you can see it might be like a bubble, but my drawing is very bad. So you cannot compare it with the bubble, but yeah, the naming is given, this type of name is given just for that purpose. It looks like a bubble head. So obviously next turn, I will not include 50 because 50 is in its original position. So I am going to compare all the values before that. So 30 with 40, no swap required because first number is not bigger. 40 and 20, yeah, swap is required. 20 will come here and 40 will go there. Next turn 40 and 10, yeah, 10 will come here, 40 will go there. So I can see after this round, the second largest element, that is 40, in its original position. So next turn, I'm not going to include 40 and 50, just I will compare these two terms. So in this case, 30 and 20, yeah, 30 and 20, yeah. 30 is greater than 20, so 20 will come in the first place, 30 in the second. 30 and 10, yes, so 10 will come in this place, 30 will there. So you can see last three elements are already at their original positions. So we are just left out with the first two positions. So just as a last comparison, I'm going to compare these two elements. So here it will be something like 10 will come here and 20 will go to this position. And that is something called bubble shot. You can, as per the lines I have drawn, so you can see clearly, it is visible like what is the differences between selection shot and bubble shot. Selection shot algorithm was something different, and bubble shot you have to go through in a line. You have to compare all the values one by one. All the values will be compared with its neighbor. Okay, so if I want to write the code for this, what will I do? First, let me go with this one. Suppose I want to take a picture of, I want to do a photo shoot of these first four people. Suppose they are the neighbors. I want to take a photo shoot of them. So I want to take a photo. So I equals to 0. Still the second last element means I equals to n by 2, or let me write directly 3. Because it is starting with 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let me write it here as well, if that helps you to identify the position. These are the positions. The last position will be 4 or n minus 1. Why? Because array starts from 0. The same answer. Okay, I will be telling this again and again and again. Why the last element is n minus 1 or 4? Size is 5. So why the last position is 4? Because array starts from 0. Okay, so second last position will be obviously 3. So I want to take a photo of this 4 person. Just try to remember it very easily. I have seen 90% people just try to memorize this code. But I will suggest you do not do that. So here I'm going to print the first 4-person picture. So obviously, if I write this code, it is going to print first 4 values, obviously. So now I am planning to take a couple photo. So this person will take a photo with 20. 20 will take a photo with 30. 30 will take a photo with 40. And 40 will take a photo with 50. So in that case, what I need to do? I will simply introduce AI and AI plus 1. All the elements will be taking a photo standing together with its neighbor. So both of them will be there, and I will take a photo of AI and its following number. So now, if we can print them together, means here it will be printed like 10, 20, 20, 30, 10, 20, 20, 30, 30, 40, something like that. And last one, 40, 50. So if we can print them together, we can compare them as well. So if I can print them together, we can compare them as well. So simply write if AI greater than AI plus 1. If the first number is bigger, then we need to swap them out. Swap them as per the last process. So I will use a third variable. We have done that in the first chapter, how to swap two values. If you are not comfortable with, I have described that with a picture, with some drawing on the first class itself. So you can just go back to the first class, starting programming, the class number 1, and you can find it here. But anyway, that is not something complicated. I'm just using a third variable to swap the values. But here it is important. If the value is bigger than the next one, I'm going to compare. So that's the first turn. Next turn, if you can remember, we have done the same thing without taking 50 into consideration. So first turn, we have considered all these people with the following elements. Let me draw once again so that you can remember. The first turn, I have done that for all the elements. But the next turn, I do not need to include 50 because 50 will be in its position. Means the last value will be in its position. Though the array I have already sorted, that's why. But if you can remember in the second turn, I do not need to include the last element. So what will happen in that case? In the second turn, I have to compare only with this, and with this. That's all. So in that case, the same task I will do, but till 2. Obviously, one value less. Means I will take a photo of this 3% till the second term, second position. And if I can take a photo of these 3 people, obviously they can be taken with the following item. And obviously 10 will be compared. I can compare 10 with 20, 20 with 30. And as a last element, 30 will be compared with 40. I do not include 50. So that's why I have just decreased the value from 3 to 2. On the next turn, I will include only first 3 numbers. So I will do 0 and 1, and they will be compared with the following. And the last turn, I will iterate it to till 0, means from here to here. So what will happen? A0 will be compared with A0 plus 1, means these two values will be compared at last. If you can remember, on the next turn, what I'm going to do, on the next turn, if you can remember, I have done something like this. And on the last turn, if you can remember, I have just compared these two values. So it will be enough if I put I into 0 position, and it will be compared with AI will be compared with AI plus 1. So you have to decrease this position, the value at this position. It will be started from 3 and it will be ended at 0. So just revise this part if you are not able to understand. So I can see this part is changing. So I will put an X here, and the value of X will be changing for 3 to 2, 3 to 0, sorry. X equals to X minus 1. And that's all we need to do. Let me, align this program. So first, 0 to 3 means all these values will be compared with this following value. So it will include 50 as well, because I am comparing all these values. So I am taking 40. So obviously 40 will be compared with the next value, because I am writing here AI plus 1. So obviously 50 will be included. On the next turn, I have to discard 50. So I will take only these 3 terms, and these 3 terms will be compared with its following. So 40 will be obviously compared with 30. So these 3 terms, so I have to iterate X till 2. After that, X till 1, and until the last part, X will be having a value like 0. So I am taking X equals to 3 to 0, kind of that. So obviously from where 3 will come, obviously in the real programming, it will be something like, if the array size is 5, I cannot write 3, it will be n minus 2, obviously. So I will put this code. If you are not able to understand, just let me know in the comment section, or I will suggest just go through this algorithm once. What we are doing as an algorithm, just do not follow the program first, just follow the algorithm. So I have just placed this code instead of the selection shot. So if I run this code now, okay, I have done some mistakes. Okay, X has not been defined now. If I define X here, and if I run, okay, 5 elements. Suppose let me give 50, 30, 40, 20, 10, and it should be in a sorted order. You can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, and this is being called as a bubble sort. And this is the easiest way you have to you can remember. So here the idea is, first we have to put 3 here, after that 2 here in place of x, after that 1, after that 0. And you can, if you want, you can follow some other ways as well. You can do something like, let me think, you can do something like n minus, first I need to put 3 here, somehow I have to put 3. So I can write something I minus 1, and the, sorry, x minus 1, and the value of x you can write like 1, x will be iterate till 4, x equals to x plus 1. Just try, I'm trying to match them. So n means 5 minus 1 minus 1 means it will be 3. When the value of x will become 2, this value will become 5 minus 2 minus 1. So it will be 2. So just I need the values like 3, 2, those things. Let me delete this. So I need the value here, means n minus x minus 1. Here I need the values like 3, then 2, then 1, then 0, obviously. So if I change the value of x, like if I change the value of x like, first I give 1, then obviously n means 5, then 5 minus 1 minus 1, it will be 3. If the value of x becomes 2, then 5 minus 2 minus 1 will be 2. If the value of x is 3, then 5 minus 3 minus 1 will be 1. And the last value of x should be 4. So you have to spend some time. So if you feel the last approach was good, you can follow that. But in Google, you will get, if you search bubble short in Google, you will get this type of program. So whatever you like. So for me, I like the previous way, because anyhow I have to just compare one value with the next value. So you can use any type of for loop to fulfill that. So what I feel comfortable with the last one. It is easier for me to remember. But yeah, if you prefer mathematical way, if you love mathematics and those things, you can follow this way as well. But the last way, it is pretty much easy. And if you are following my classes, it is something like for pattern we have done. So if the value is changing, I will be controlling that value from the outside with the value of x, if you are following my classes. So the first approach was something similar to for pattern. But yeah, still, if you like mathematics or if you are comfortable with this approach, you can also follow this. So let me run this program another time with this approach. So I can give 5 elements, and here I can input, suppose 30, 40, 50, 20, 10, and it should be sorted after that. Yeah, you can see the elements are sorted. So that's the thing we have to do in this class with selection and bubble sort. I'm not going to tell you more sorting approaches, otherwise you will be confused. There are many more. We have insertion sort, merge sort, radic sort, a quick sort, but for the time being, I'm not doing that. We will just go with these two type of sorting, and these two type of sorting are being asked during the interview heavily. Okay, most of the students receive this type of questions in the interview. So you have to very confident with these two for loops. It is not a program of array, it is a program of for loop. Okay, so now if interviewer made some changes just to check your concept, are you really memorizing all these codes or you are comfortable with that? They can ask some cross questions like how to make it in descending. So what we are doing, we are sorting them in ascending order. But what about if I want to make it descending? So in that case, you just need to change the sign. Here we are using greater than, but now I will be using less than here. Okay, so less than means whenever I'm getting the first number lesser, I'll be swapping. So in this way, it will be sorted in the descending way. So descending means the largest number will be in the first position and the smallest number will be in the last position. So let me check with that. 5 numbers, obviously, and enter the elements like 40, suppose, sorry, what is happening? Yeah, 40, 10, 30, 20, 50. So if I give in this way, it will be sorted in like 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Got this answer? So for if anyone asks descending, you have to just change this number. And just the one thing, here I have written 4. I checked that lately. So 4 will not be given because I can give some other inputs as well. I can short 10 values as well. So instead of 4, obviously you have to give n minus 1 to make it general. Obviously you have that idea currently. So if I run, so let me check it with 8 numbers, suppose. So let me give 40, 30, 20, 50, 60, 10, 70, and 80, suppose. And it will be sorted in the descending way. Look, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. So generally, if they do not mention anything, bubble sort will be in ascending order. So you have to check if the first number is bigger than the next number or not. You just need to check this. If first number is bigger than the next number, and that will sort this array in ascending order. Okay. So I will not say much, otherwise you will be, there is a high chances you will be confused. So, but these two programs are very important for the interview. Just practice those things. Whatever problems you are getting, just let me know via the comment section. You can also paste the screenshot if your code is not giving as expected result. So I will try to check the code and I will give you the answer why it is not running. So now, as a third question, I'm going to do stack. So stack is another application. It is more like a software we have to create using array. So stack is something, it runs on the LIFO technique. It runs on the LIFO technique. LIFO means last in, first out. It looks something like, what can I give an example? Like, suppose, have you seen a disc collector after the invitation or after the party? Suppose someone who collects the dishes, sometimes this type of disc collector is being used where you can put your plates. After the dinner, you can put your plates here. So the plate which will be placed at last, that plate can be taken out at first. So this plate means that is placed at the last. This one can be taken at first. You cannot pull this out, this plate, because it is at the bottom now. So whatever you will be placing at the last, you can take that out at the first. So that means last input and first output. As the name suggests, last input, first output. And it is the working principle of LIFO or the stack. So suppose your users are looking for something like this type of application. They do not want to know if you are going to use array or something else in between. So obviously the stack can be created with many approaches. Like a stack can be created using array, a stack can be created using linked list, but we do not know linked list as of now. So, but still stack can be created with any of the uh, materials. So for the timing, as we know array, we will try to create that. So user will just going to use that as a stack. They are not going to, they are just not going to know if it is array or if it is something else. In the similar way, we save the phone numbers in our phone. We do not know Android programming. Probably I'm assuming you do not know Android programming. At least I do not know Android programming. So I do not know how they are how the numbers are getting stored in the my phone contact book. Are they using array or are they using something else? Obviously, I do not know. So same will happen for them as well. We are not going to tell them what I'm going to use inside. So let me go to the program. So it will be more like a software. So let me delete everything. So obviously I'm going to take an array. I'm going to use I, J, all those things. If needed, N will be the size. So I will just going to ask, enter the size of the stack, because that client will be paying, someone will be paying me for creating the application for them. Obviously, I have to listen to them. So I'm just asking them, I'm just trying to give them a feeling like, okay, you are using a stack, you are using a stack. Every time I'm going to mention the name stack. I'm not going to mention array or anything else. So stack is something that they are looking for. So I'm just asking them, enter the size of stack. So obviously n will be the size of the stack. So after that, I can take a variable called loop. It is the easiest way. It is the easiest way for the programmer like us. So I will just, you can use loop, you can use any variable, you can use LP, you can use X, Y, Z, anything. So let me use like X equals to 0. So why x will be used? I can give something like y x less than 1. And until x is less than 1, this loop will keep iterating until x equals to x is less than 1. So you can see the x equals to 0, the value is fixed. So it will be kind of a infinite loop. It will keep iterating and iterating. Okay. So when the loop starts, I will first give an option to the user like enter 1 for push. Suppose the user is looking for the name push. You can write insert as well. But this application, they like the name push. Okay, their money, they can demand anything. You can write enter 2 for delete, but they prefer a name like pop. Yeah, again, it is their money. They are the client. They will be paying us for creating this application, so I can use their name. But yeah, in the mind, we can think like push mean insert, pop mean delete. So I can write something like enter 3 for display. Obviously, whatever they are doing, they want to display that thing as well. Means what is the current situation of the stack? How many items deleted? How many items inserted? They need to have some idea. And obviously, we have to keep a button. I'm doing the same thing you have heard in IVR. Suppose you have called to your phone service provider. So you heard something like if you are using prepaid, enter 1. If you are using postpaid, enter 2, something like that. So enter 4 for exit. Obviously, I have to give a choice like, okay, for exit. And obviously, I will take this input into some variable called choice. So let me take that here. So now I can introduce a switch case. If you can remember, you can use a if as well if you cannot remember switch case. But for the time being, let me use switch case because I have never used switch case in any of the programs. That's why I think it is the best place to use the switch case. So, but yeah, again, if you forget what is switch case, you can simply write this thing using if, like, okay, when ch equals to 1, when ch equals to 2, when ch equals to 3, you can write in that way as well. So switch case is nothing important. So if you do not know switch case, then also it's okay. But for the timing, I have never used this application switch case. So that's why I am going to use that. Default means if user is not a good user, if user has given input like 100. I have requested for the input like 1, 2, 3, 4, but user has given something 100 or 500. At that time, I have to tell the user like, please give valid input. So just I need to give some comment like, please give valid input. We are not creating any joke here. Please give a valid input, something like that. So now case 4, if user wants to exit, obviously it will be an infinite loop because the value of x is 0. And I have given a condition like it will iterate till the value is greater than 1, less than 1. So obviously if anyone wish to quit, I will just write x equals to 1. That's all. So it is no more less than 1 or x equals to 2, anything you can give. So it is no more less than 1 and the loop will be ended. The while loop will not going to run anymore. But again, these are not important thing. So first I need to insert something. So I will take a variable, an important variable called, you can say t equals to -1. That value actually is going to track how many items I am inserting. So if it is case 1, what I will do, I will simply write t equals, okay, first I will take an input from the user that enter the value you want to insert. So I can write a comment like printf. I can write like this, enter the value. User wants to insert something or push something. Okay. So I will write enter the value you want to push. I will use their terminology, or you can write insert as well. Nothing will happen. So here I will take an input inside val. So I have to declare a variable called val. I will take an input of a val. And after that, I will do t equals to t plus 1. The starting value of t is -1. So I will just increase that value to 0. And I will just write at in the 0th place. I will put that value. That's all. So what is happening? Suppose first the value of t is -1. So let me write it -1. Suppose user wants to play with 5 records, 5 elements. The size is 5, suppose. Or let me give some numbers randomly. So 5 size means in user has already entered like, okay, maximum I can give 5 elements. Okay, fine. So now user has given something like 10. Val equals to 10, suppose. User wants to push something. So here the t will be here in this position. T is currently at -1. So now I will do, after entering the value, t will be t plus 1. So t will be reached out to this position. T will become 0. And in AT, means in A0 position, because array starts from 0, I will put that val. So 10 will be placed in this position. Next turn, if user wants to input another term, so again the same thing, t will be plus plus, t will reach out to this position. And in AT equals to val, means it will be 20. You can see I am just doing a plus and AT equals to val. That's what we are doing. Again, user wants to insert something. So t will be plus plus, t will be incremented, and then I will insert the value. So t is basically tracking until which element I have inserted. So I have inserted till 2 position. Value can be anything. Value can be 30 or 300. That doesn't matter. So till position 2, I have inserted something. So again, user if wants to insert something, t will be here and it will be 40. Again, user wants to enter something. So t will be here and I will enter 50. If again user wants to insert something, then it should not be happened, because you can see already 5 elements has inserted. So user has already shared like the size should be like 5. So let's take 5. So here, once t reaches to 4, obviously I'm not going to allow him to insert any further values, because it is the requirement of the software. This is the requirement given by the client, so it should have some size. So once t reaches out to 4, our 5 elements are completed. So if you can see closely, if the size is 5, the last value of t will be 4. Means I'm talking about position. I'm not talking about value. Value can be anything. Value can be 500. Value can be 5,000. That doesn't matter. I'm talking about this position. So t equals to 4. I cannot reach out to 5, 6, or 7 because it is crossing the limit. So I can simply write first. I have to take all the considerations. Okay. There can be some bad users as well who will try to spoil this application. Even we do the same. If you can remember when we were the child. So when I was a child, like I used to play a game like Road Rash. It is a bike racing game, and my intention was always like to go into the audience. What will happen if I go towards the audience? What will happen if I go reverse? So user can try the same thing with our software. So we have to be very cautious. We have to put all the necessary conditions to restrict the improper steps. So here I will write if t reach out to size -1, means if it reach out to 4, size is 5. So if it is reach out to 4, I will write something like stack is full. I will not say array is full or something like that. Stack is full because they have paid enough. So I have to behave accordingly. Else, if it is less than 4, then it's okay. I will take an input and that's all. So that is okay. Same if user wants to delete something. So obviously it might be possible user wants to delete at the starting itself. At the starting, without inserting something, user wants to delete something. So obviously at the starting, the value of t was -1. So if the value of t was -1, and at that time, if anyone clicks 2, obviously I have to say, sorry, stack is empty. I cannot delete. How can I delete? You have not inserted anything. And now you want to delete something. So obviously if t is -1, I will show some message like this. And now if user is genuine and he really wants to delete something from here, so I will show something like 50 got deleted and t will come to this position. But yeah, there is no way to delete 50 in the real time as well. If you are deleting some movies or something from your machine, believe me, nothing in real is deleted. They just deallocated that memory. So you have heard something like data recovery sites and all. If you can check in Google as well, you can search something like data recovery uh, tools in available in Kolkata. So there are few agencies who do this kind of thing, data recovery thing. So data recovery means if you are deleting something, that doesn't mean in real it is deleted. It will be there. So we will going to follow the same thing. We will just, for the user, I'll be giving something like percentage d is popped, sorry, not deleted, popped. I will use their term. So I will just print at, that element, and after that I will simply do t equals to t minus 1. So people might think, it might create some confusion if I put 50 here. It will not. You can put 0 as well, you can assign the value 0 as well, but you cannot make it null, you cannot make it blank, there will be something. So if I can put 0, 0 is also not the right thing. Obviously, we can put 50 as well. We just need to use it very carefully. Suppose if user wants to display the value, I'm going to print the value from 0 to t, only these values. I'm not going to show them the value kept here. So I will just going to print 0 to t. So let me write that code as well. Let me copy this. In case of display, 3 means display. Okay, if you check the menu, let me check again. Yeah, 3 for display. What is the current situation of the stack? So again, it might happen like at the starting, anyone wants to see the stack. So you can just write stack is empty. You cannot see anything. Stack is empty. Nothing to display. Something like message I can give. So it will make our app more realistic. And if he or she wants to display something in the uh, real elements, in the mid of real elements, so I will just write I equals to t, I greater than equals to 0, either 0 to 2 or t to 0. So I will give a feeling of stack by using it, printing it in reverse way, so that the top element will be printed at top. Because if I give a output like 10, 20, 30, 40, it will not give that feeling. I'm trying to print something like 40, then 30, then 20, then 10. It will give a feeling like, okay, it is a stack. If you want to delete something, you have to delete from here. 40 will be deleted next time. So I want to print it in a reverse way, just to give a feeling, because they are paying more. So they have paid enough. So I will give an impression like this. I will print AI, but in a reverse way. And I guess, yeah, that's all, I guess. So let me try to run this code now. I think everything I have written correctly. So let me first run. Just let me check if it is working fine or not. Okay. Something is saying size is undeclared. Okay. Okay, I have taken input inside n. So let me take an input inside size. N is not needed. Let me write size. Okay, so run the program once again. If I have not made any mistakes, so it is saying val, scanf val. Okay, something I did wrong with val, where is val? Yeah, I have to put a %. I hope it is correct now. Let me run again. Yeah, so I want to go with a 5 size stack. So obviously first I will try to pop. I am clicking 2. It is saying sorry, stack is empty. Obviously I have not inserted anything. How can I expect to delete something? So I have written that part. T equals to -1, stack is empty. And the starting value of t, this is the reason I have started with t equals to -1. Got it? So now if I want to display something, I am clicking 3. So it is saying stack is empty, nothing to display. Obviously, how can it display something? I have not inserted anything. So I have given this clause for that reason. User can do anything. User can click anything. And you can see these messages are coming for infinite times. It will just keep coming like this until we click 4. So that I will do later. For the time being, let me click on 1. So it is asking for enter the value we want to push. I have given 10. It is again asking 1 for push. Okay, let me give 1. Let me insert 20. Let me give 1. Let me insert 30. Let me give 1 and let me insert 40. And let me display now. Let me click 3. So you can see you are having an impression like 40, 30, 20, 10 are kept in this way. So let me insert 1 once again and let me insert 50. 1 once again. So just take a look. We are completed 5 elements. The initial size was 5. If I enter 1, you can see a message like stack is full. Obviously, because we have given a condition like there is a limit. Obviously, you cannot insert means infinite time. If it reaches to size minus 1 means until 4, then you will be seeing this message, obviously. So now what will I do? I will keep deleting. So I will entering 2 to pop. So 50 is popped. If I write 2, it is 40 is popped. So if I check the situation now, it looks like 30, 20, 10. Now again, you can insert something. If I click on 1 and if I give 100, suppose value can be anything. If I check, so obviously 100 will be at the top position, then 30, 20, 10. You can do anything, whatever you want. So now let me click on 2. So 100 will be popped. The last inserted value will be popped. That's why it is being called as a LIFO. And it is the principle of the stack. Last input, first output. So let me click on 2 once again. It is 30, 2 once again, 20, 2 once again, 10. If I click 2 once again, it will show empty because everything is deleted. So we have done enough. So let me give some input like 500. It will say, please give valid input. That is also written in our program. And the last option, I will click on 4. 4 means the loop will be ended. Why loop is ended? Because on clicking on 4, you are changing the value of x. So it will be no more in the infinite loop. You can see because it is no more less than 1. Initial value of x was 0. So all those small things we have incorporated here and we have created this app of stack. We have created this app. You can see. So you have to spend some time. I am showing you the code. I'm not pasting the code in the in the description section because I want you to write this code by yourself. If you are facing any issues, just let me know. I will try to check and I will try to repair that. So it is case 1. You can put your screen on hold and you can try to type. But you have to know all the meanings of all the lines. Why I'm writing that? You have to guess in your workplace. It is not your job only to write your codes using your brain. It is also important to think over the all possible cases. User can do anything, and that is why in the interview rounds, people means companies first take the aptitude test. If you have heard about that, aptitude test is something like to check your general awareness or your common sense. You can see this type of question can come. It will be there always in all the leading companies. They check what is your IQ or what is your common sense. Can you sense the behavior of the user? Can you sense all possible conditions that your code might face in reality? So you have to think in that way. So it is a perfect example of application, and it is quite commonly asked during the interview as well. They might ask you the pop function or the display function from stack. So you do not need to write the full program. You just need to write that. Yeah, sometimes people tell me like, I want to do this program using function. I have checked in the Google. They have done that using pointer or using function. Believe me, in function, you do not have anything extra to learn. I will just put this code inside the function. So don't be confused. Just be confident with the code itself. During the interview, obviously interviewer will focus on your logic breaking sense. If you can break the logic, then it's okay. If you can write the corresponding code for the logic, then it will be okay. I will be showing you the same code using function later, but for the time being, just try to understand the logic. That is more important. Function is not important. But yeah, I will put this code in future into function. Okay, but not now because we do not know function yet. So as the last program for the day, it will be Q. Q is something like first input, first output. Q runs on the methodology of FIFO. FIFO means first in and first out. Means whatever you will insert first, that will be going to be that is going to be deleted first. So stack was an application that can be used in many places. If I give you some example, the use of stack is something. Suppose if you are downloading something, and that is almost 90% download has been, or you are copying something, 90% copy has been done. So after that, you place another copy that is also 40% already copied. Your machine is very fast, you are feeling confident, you are copying another item, and that was already 20% copy. That is copy 3. Suppose you are first, you are copying some movies, here you are copying some files, here you are copying some songs, and at last, when you give another copy from suppose C drive to D drive, it was copy number 4, and your machine got hanged. So obviously, what do you want? To remove that slowness or to remove that hang, operating system should remove which copy, which activity first. Is it the last one or is it the first one? Obviously, they will follow the stack approach. The last copy, which is just only 5% copied, they will remove that part. Operating system automatically remove the last inserted job. If it is recovered, if your operating system, if it is become fast again, then it's fine. If it is still giving some lag or if it is still slow, it will remove this one. After that, it will just take this one, and at last, if it is not recovered, it will remove this entry. So here, in this approach, in this case, operating system is following LIFO technique, last in first out. But in most of the cases in real life, we faces the queue approach, that is FIFO. Means suppose you have gone to the library, 10, roll number 10 suppose has given, and after that 20, 30, 40, 50. So when the library opens, obviously the first person who came first will be served. After that, the person who came second will be served. And in the meantime, people might come and sit in the queue. And the term is also queue we use in the English word. Queue means first in, first out. Okay, in bank, in any places, you have to be in queue. So whoever will be coming first, he will be served first, something like that. So here, and if you can remember in the last program, I have not mentioned, means like the user will never think it is an array. He will be getting all the options like a software. He is thinking it is a stack. So we will try to create the same approach in queue as well. Everything will be same. Let me check. Enter the size of the stack. And here I need to maintain two values. First is front, which will be the who will come at the starting. He will be declared as a front. It will be -1. And the ending of the queue will be termed as -1. R for suppose rear. So if people are standing in the queue, so suppose this person will be called as a front because it is near to the window. When the library opens, these people will be at the front and he will be served at first. And the person who will be standing here, he or she will be called as a rear. Okay, he or she will be called as a R or rear. And here he will be called as a front, something like that. If someone comes new, 60, I will go to this place. But obviously we have to remember, we have to define a size. Suppose here we will imagine the size is 5. So at max, we can accommodate 5 people in the stack. Obviously, you have to define a size. Suppose you are selling one phone over the internet, and if you are giving the offer and you have only 5 phones, so obviously you cannot allow 6 people. So whoever will come first, you will be selling the phone to them. So you have to make a limit like, okay, the size will be 5 or 6 or 10, whatever you want. So for the timing, we will assume the size is 5 and we will go accordingly. So the two variables are f and r. The same approach, but the naming will be changed. For queue, suppose they are looking for the original name, insert, delete, something like that. So whatever they want, I will do the same thing. I am using the name like insert, then delete, then display. I will be using the same name. So if r, the rear part, reaches out to size -1, I will say queue is full. Else, if it is the starting, I will say enter the value. Obviously, the val will be there, but I'm not going to write these two lines. What I'll be doing, I will just, instead of t, previous code was something like this, but this time I will do r equals to r plus 1 and ar equals to that. Something similar. Okay, let me imagine as well. R and F both are at -1. So when something will be inserted, R will be incremented to 0. It is suppose 0, then it is 1, then it is 2, then it is 3, then it is 4, then it is 5, then it is 6, something like that. But we cannot accommodate 5 because we are size 5. So suppose imagine we are working with size 5. So only 0 to 4 because the array starts from 0. So R will be incremented and I will be inserting one value 10. Obviously, in this way, R will be incremented and I will insert a value 20 in the similar way. But for the when I will insert the first value, I will also increment the F for the first time. I mean to say, if at the first run only, when the R is -1, I will be, this is the extra piece of code, F will also become 0. At the first run, when I'm inserting the first value 10, suppose initially R is at -1, F is also at -1, and I'm inserting 10. So on the first run, I'm checking if R equals to -1, you can see the code on the left hand side. So I will just assign F as 0 and R will be obviously after that the same thing, R equals to R plus 1 and AR equals to val. So R will be R plus 1 and AR will be val. Next turn, obviously, if user wants to insert another value, obviously R is no more, R is not going to be -1 anymore. So obviously this part will not run. So obviously R will be just R plus 1 and AR equals to val. Only those two parts will execute. So R will become R plus 1, R will become 1, and I will insert another value. Again, R will be incremented and I will insert another value. Again, R will be incremented and I will insert another value. Again, R will be incremented and I will insert another value. But whenever R reaches to 4, I will say it is full. I have already written that code. Whenever R is size -1, I will say Q is full. Now come to the second part. When the value of R is -1, obviously I will say, sorry, Q is empty. The same thing, the same approach. Else, I will be deleting. I will not write popped. I will be saying deleted this time. So deletion will not be from the T end. It will be from the F end. So it will be from the another end. I will keep inserting value in one end and I will be deleting from another end. So here I will write AF will be deleted. If anyone wants to delete something, it will be not like stack. It will be deleted from the other part. So 10 will be deleted. So I will print 10 will be deleted, obviously, and I will increment the value of F. So here I will write F equals to F minus F equals to F plus 1. But there is one disadvantage of Q. I will show that later, but still you have to understand. If I keep deleting, obviously F equals to F plus 1 and 20 will be deleted. F equals to F plus 1 when 30 will be deleted. You can see I have deleted 3 elements, but still if anyone wants to insert something now, R is still at 4. So it will show an error like Q is full. But we are having just only 2 elements. But why it is showing a message like Q is full? Because R is at the top now. I cannot insert anything. I cannot insert anything in these places. And that is the disadvantages of Q. And from here, we can go into the direction of data structure and we can invent shift Q or circular Q after that, just to remove this disadvantage of Q. We do not have anything like shift stack or circular stack because stack is pretty much perfect. But for Q, we have some disadvantages, and that's why we have to go into these directions, shift Q and circular Q. But for the time being, we will work with these disadvantages. If in the interview round, interviewer asked Q, do not need to remove the disadvantage. It is the original Q. In original Q, you have the disadvantage. You have to accept that. So even if it is being asked in the interview round, you can present this code because everyone knows Q has this problem. And in circular queue, if interviewer asks about circular queue, then this problem will be solved, and that is another program. It is not the similar program. So in Q, you have this disadvantage. You have to accept that. So if I delete more, suppose if I want to delete 40 as well, so obviously F will come here. And after that, if I delete F once again, so F will be plus plus here and 50 will be deleted. So now if I am going to insert another value, obviously still R is, you can see I have deleted everything, but still R is at the top. It will still show Q is full. So if F is equals to R plus 1, if F crosses R, if F crosses R, so if F becomes R plus 1 by deleting all the terms one by one, one by one, one by one. So if F cross R and F becomes R plus 1, I will put them again into minus 1. I will just pull them again into minus 1. I will say start from minus 1 once again. Otherwise, we are suffering. We are not able to insert any more values. So by doing this, if any time F becomes R plus 1, I will just pull them together into minus 1. I will pull them together minus 1. Because I cannot insert any more values once R reaches out to 4. So obviously, if it is empty, why should I wait again? I will pull them together into minus 1. That's all. And at the end, if R is minus 1, if anyone wants to display, if R is minus 1, I will say Q is empty, nothing to display, obviously. And if Q is not empty, I'm going to show them from F to R in the forward way. Whatever values we have between F and R, between front and rear, I'm going to show them one by one. And I do not need to print it in the another line. I will print them in the same line. That's all. So first, let me run this program. Then probably we'll be able to understand. Oh, sorry, I have written size of stack. Sorry. Let me change that. User will be very angry to me. So let me write Q, the size of Q. We will be using very small thing to make this application. We have not used anything complicated, anything like pointer, anything like function. We are delivering this code using whatever we know. So enter the size of Q. Obviously, I will enter 5. So I will write something like, I want to delete. So it will say, sorry, Q is empty. Obviously, you have not inserted anything and you are looking for deleting something. Obviously, not going to happen. So if I enter 3, I want to display, I want to see what is there inside. It will say Q is empty, nothing to display, obviously. So I will now enter 1. I will enter. Okay, I have written enter the value you want to push. It should be something like enter the value you want to insert, whatever the user wants. So 10, I have inserted. After that, again, I'm clicking on 1 and they are asking to enter another thing. It is 20. I'll be entering another thing like 30. So let me show you now what is there inside. If I click on 3, so from F to R, it will be printed 10, 20, 30. You can see. If I enter more, suppose if I enter 1 in, once again, and I want to insert 40. I want to insert another value as 50. I want to insert another value, but yeah, it should be saying full. You can see it is saying Q is full because I have already inserted all the value. So R is currently at this position and F is currently at this position. So I have inserted all those values here. So it is a technical thing. User is not going to understand the meaning of the code. For user, it is just a software. He is going to insert something or delete something. So now if I delete something, okay, let me first check what is there inside. If I click 3, it is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. All the values together, you can see. So I have to print this enter 1 for insert on the next line, but for the timing, let it be. So now if I delete something, obviously 10 is deleted, not 50. Whichever came first, that element will be deleted at first. So 10 is deleted. After that, if I click on 2, 20 is deleted because I'm just going to delete from the other end, from the front part. I'm going to delete from this end. I'm inserting at one end and deleting from this end. So F will go into this position. So 10 and 20 got deleted. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So now if I want to display something, obviously F to R, everything will be displayed. So 30, 40, 50 will be displayed. Take a look. If I enter 3, So it should display 30, 40, and 50. But the disadvantage I was saying, if I click 1 at that time, I have only 3 elements, but the size is 5. If I click 1, it is still saying queue is full. And that is a disadvantage we are having in queue. And obviously later we will check the solutions. We will check the program of circular queue and shift queue, how we can resolve this thing. We will check later. But for the time being, if I click on 2, it will delete like 330. If I again click on 2, 40 will be deleted. If I click again on 2, 50 will be deleted. And if I click again 2 to delete something, it will say, sorry, queue is empty. You have deleted everything. Now again, I can insert something. It is open. You can see it is not saying queue is full. It is able to take some input. So obviously we have examined, we have tested all the functionality. So I can comfortably click on 4 and I can exit. So this is the program of queue. Let me show you. Queue is something first in, first out. You can just pause the screen and you can just try to write this code by yourself. This is case 1. The similar thing, on the first time, I will just put F onto 0 and the rest of the time it is similar like stack. R will be +1 and I will be entering value inside AR position. For the deletion time, it will be F equals to F +1 and I will be deleting the F value. It is not deletion actually. It will be just printing the value. And for the last scenario, if we have deleted everything, F becomes R +1. I am putting both the values into -1 because I want to insert the values once again. So that is the reason. For the printing, R equals to, if R equals to -1, obviously I will print like Q is empty. If not, I will print everything from F to R in a single line. That's all. That's all we need to solve in Q. And believe me, it is most important program you are going to face during the interviews. These 4 programs, just make it handy any day, anytime. If anyone asks this type of question, you should be ready with the code. Okay. So every time, just you cannot wait till the interview comes or till the exam comes. Just practice all these 4 questions right away. Okay. You have to very confident on these 4 codings because it is the most important, most frequent questions asked during the interview, these 4. Okay, so that's all for the day. I will show you other data structures, other elements later. But for the time being, you have to practice. We do not have any separate exercise for these applications. But yeah, you can go through the coding exercise basic or coding exercise intermediate album. You can choose single dimension array, that chapter. Okay, so that's the thing. If you face any challenges, any unexpected thing in your coding, suppose you are writing a code and you are getting some unexpected result, just try to paste that code in the comment section. I will be trying to go through that. Probably I will be able to find the error. Okay, so that's the thing I will suggest. So yeah, try to type the codes by yourself. That's all for the day. Bye.